Hey guys, welcome back. Most of us use Ansible for infrastructure automation, configuration management, and continuous deployment. So most of the time, we face challenges when there is changes in server IPs and all. Today, we'll see how we can best use of the Ansible Dynamic Inventory. So let's first see what is Dynamic Inventory and its usage. If your Ansible inventory fluctuates over time with hosts spinning up and shutting down in response to business demands as part of your auto-scaling setup, then you need to set up the dynamic inventory to meet the requirement. So what happens when we use our auto-scalings in our projects or in our applications? So if there is a demand increases, right? If there is a traffic spike, user increases and we need more servers to add, then eventually we have to set up the configuration management accordingly on those servers. So for using the static inventory, it will be a challenge. So let's see what exactly happens. By default, Ansible provides the static inventory. That means we have to write our all the host details in the static inventory files. Like suppose we have DB servers, we have web servers. So we have to write the servers in the static inventory, and then we can, if there is new server added, then we have to come here and add the server details and host details in the static inventory. Okay, every time there is changes, we have to manually change it. So it will be a big challenge if every time there is a changes and all. So how we can mitigate this problem? We can use the dynamic inventory to overcome this problem. We are going to use the AWS underscore EC2 plugin. So imagine that AWS it provides, where we can use the dynamic inventory to create dynamic inventory and use the Ansible to deploy, to do configuration management and all. So how it works, if there is server increases, what happens based on the servers, you can fetch the details from the resources. Based on that, it will work. If you need, if there is some server is removed, like if the demand decreases, the server removed, and you don't need that server in future, so you can use this dynamic inventory to fetch whatever the available servers, and you can just do the deployment or whatever you want. Similarly, if increases also, it will automatically add it, and you don't have to bother about manually add it every time. Okay, so now let's start to set up how we will see how we can set up this dynamic inventory and how we can use it. I have now logged into my Ansible server. Okay, so from here you have to first make sure that Python 3 is installed. So to check the Python 3 is installed or not, just type Python 3 hyphen version. So here it says Python 3.8 is installed. Now what we need, we have to install the required plugins in order to use the AWS Ansible Dynamic Inventory. So where we can use that? So if you just go to the Ansible documentations, you'll find in the collection index, right? Here you can find the collections in the emergent namespace. We are going to use this collection emergent.aws.aws underscore EC2. That is for EC2 inventory source. And there are some prerequisites we need to install. First, we have to install this collection using the Ansible Galaxy. Okay, so let's copy this one. Go here. It will take a few seconds to install these collections. By the time it get installed, you can see here we have a lot more other things also we have to do and install it. So you can see here the requirements, and for the requirement it says we need Python 3.6 greater than 3.6 or greater than. Similarly, we need the Boto 3 software or plugins to install that one. Okay, so after that, what we need, we have to create one Yaml configurations with AWS underscore EC2 dot YML or YAML. So this is the one, and this is the way you have to create exactly the similar way what it has mentioned here. Now let's see, go here, and it has been installed this plugin. Okay, and this collection has been installed. So what we need now, we can go ahead and install this Boto 3. As we already have this Python 3.8 is installed, now we can go ahead and install this Boto 3. And to install this Boto 3 and Boto code, we need the pip3 Python package manager to install it. So let's use the pip3 install Boto 3 first. Okay, so what it says pip3 not found. That means pip3 is not installed. So it also provides pip3 to install it. Okay, remember I am using Ubuntu operating system, that's why I'm going to use the apt package manager. If you are using CentOS or Red Hat or Amazon Linux, then you should use sudo yum install python 3-pip. Okay, now let me use this sudo apt install python 3-pip. Okay, the pip3 is now installed. Now let's install the Boto 3 and Boto core. Just write pip3 install Boto 3. So what it does, this Boto 3 package itself, it is installing both Boto 3 as well as Boto core. So we don't need to install Boto core separately. Okay, Boto core is installing as part of this Boto 3 package also. So we are good with the Boto 3 and Boto core installations. Now what we have to do, we have to do small changes to our Ansible configurations to use this AWS EC2 plugin. Okay, now you know the Ansible default path is etc Ansible. Go there, and here we can find one ansible.cfg, the configuration file. We have to change this file in order to use the AWS EC2 plugin. Okay, just so we have to make sure it should be under root user sudo and just search for that enable underscore plugins. Okay, now you can see here we have this enable underscore plugins, and we have to add the plugin details which will be used. Okay, now let me in the another below line, I'll just add enable underscore plugins equal to, just write AWS underscore EC2. You have to write in the same way. Okay, enable underscore plugins equal to AWS underscore EC2. Now save this file. We have done the changes. Now what we have to do, we have to write the AWS underscore EC2.yaml file. Okay, so I'll show you, I'll guide you how we can write this YAML file. Let's go ahead. Better you can put this in a different file or different location, because that will be your inventory file, that will be your dynamic inventory file. So let me just go to the cd opt folder, and here suppose I'm going to create the file. Okay, and let me go under sudo vi, it should be aws underscore ec2 dot yml. Okay, hit enter. So how we'll write the plugins and all, if we go to this documentations below, okay, and these are the parameters is required to write this plugin and to write the dynamic inventory file, and these are the parameters we need to use it. So what we'll do it again here, if you go down here, they have some examples given. So here the examples, you can see the plugins being used as AWS underscore EC2. So we'll write the plugin here, simply write plugin colon, we'll use AWS underscore EC2. Okay, plugin AWS underscore EC2. Now then we have to use the regions. So suppose I'm going to use the region will be AP South, the Mumbai region. Okay, AP South 1. So let's save this file. This is just a simple one. And another one, you'll see we need the authentication. For authentication, like to connect to the server, right, to the resources, we need the access key, ID, and the secret key. So if you go down here, the parameter sections will have the access key, AWS underscore access key, and AWS underscore secret key. So we have to provide this access key and secret key in the inventory file, or we can do set up in the AWS configurations in the Ansible server, so that we can able to access it. And another way we can do by using the roles. Okay, we'll create IAM role and assign it. So I'll go with the IAM role, so that is the most secure way to connect to the AWS resources. So let's go ahead to the Ansible servers. Okay, so this is my Ansible server. If I go here, this Ansible Ubuntu. So what I'm going to do, I'm just assigning one role to this. So what I'll do, go to the action, security, modify IAM role. Now select, make sure you have the IAM role created. If not created, you can just go ahead and create new IAM role. So I have already created one IAM role, and that I have given admin access, the policies and all set up for admins, all resources, admin access. So you can just select it. If not, you can create new role and attach to the server where your Ansible is installed. Okay, now update your IAM role. Good. So my server is now updated with the role. If I go here, I have attached this, I have created this inventory file. Now let's execute this inventory file. Okay, what I'll do, I can just do Ansible inventory. First, let's list out the hosts in the EC2 instances, all the available hosts. So what you can do, just use inventory -i. So you have to provide the inventory path where your inventory available. So inventory file name is AWS underscore EC2.yml -list. Here it is. So we can see it working fine. It is working perfectly fine, and we have this host details provided. What we can see here, we can see there are four servers. There are four servers available under this AWS underscore EC2 group, and you can see all the details about those four servers. But it is too lengthy, right? There are many servers, but I don't need all these four servers to be displayed and four servers to be worked, right? So what I can do, I can add some filters to the file. I can add some filters. So if I go to the page again, and documentation page, if you go down below, you can see there has some filters, and gives how we can use the filters, have different examples. Here one example, and here you can see another example of using this, right? There are multiple examples they have given, and you can use these documentations to write your inventory file. Now let's go ahead and add some filters here. Okay, now if I go there, just go below, add new filters here, filters, and it should be a list. Okay, and you can give as it is, like if you have multiple filters, you can give right in a list. If you have a single filter in the same line, you can put it here, right? So what I can do, I can just write it like tag. So based on the tag, I'm going to filter, right? And the environment, and is it how you'll get this tag? If I go here to the server, just select it. Okay, select it, and if you go this tags, you can see here the value is Ansible Ubuntu, right? This is the server machine, this is the Ansible server, but I want to suppose get this information about the web server. If I go here, I can find this value as web server. Okay, so the key is name web server. Similarly, so in the tag, the key I have given as name, so you have to type name colon name. So tag name, you can see here tag, suppose here the tag name is environment, but in our case it is name, equal to here it is given dev, and in our case it's web server. Okay, now what we can do here, let's save it and execute the command again. Now we can see here only one host information retrieved based on the filters. Okay, now you understood how we can use the filters and all. Suppose if you want to just display all the running instances, so what you can use, just go here, instead of tag, what we can do, we can just give in the filter sections, we can provide instance hyphen state name running. Just copy this, delete this line and put instance state name colon running. Save this one, and if we execute this command again, see, that means there are 3 hosts which are in running state. Now you understood how we can use the filter to fetch the required informations. Now switch back to the previous one. So what was that? It was given as tag, right? Tag give us name column was web server. Okay, save it. Now execute again. So we have this one server which is tag name as web server. And how will install? So now let's execute some ad hoc commands. Okay, now let's execute some ad hoc commands and see how whether we can able to install some softwares or not. Okay, first let's ping this server. Okay, to ping this server, what we need, the certificate of that server, right? .pem file. Whenever you create the uh, instances, you have downloaded the certificate. You need that certificate to connect to the server. So let's copy the certificate to the Ansible remote machine, Ansible server. Okay, so what I'll do here, I'll just copy by using the cp-i. Suppose this is the file which I need to copy to the server. So, and you can use Ubuntu and give the IP address of the server. Just go and grab the Ansible server IP address. This is the Ansible server IP address and I want to copy this to my home directory, to the Ubuntu user home directory. So it will be just copied. Now if I go to the remote Ansible server, you will see here, if I do, see, the certificate is copied. Now let's execute some commands to check whether we have the connectivity or access to the servers or not. So I'm going to execute some ad hoc commands. So we can use Ansible AWS underscore EC2. It holds the number of hosts. Now what I'm going to do, use the inventory path -i opt, and I have to use this AWS EC2.yaml. Now let's use the module -yum ping and provide the certificate file. So you have to provide the certificate file. So that is that use -private key equal to home Ubuntu, and that is ps1.pem. Good. So Ansible AWS underscore EC2, that is the group name, and here is the inventory which will fetch all the host details. Okay, I'm going to ping the server. Now hit enter. Okay, so here we can see, as we have not set off the strict host key checking false, so first time it is just checking the host key, so we can just ignore it. Okay, that is checking the authenticity, and to make sure it is not coming again, we have to modify the ansible.chg, and there will be strict host key checking. You have to make it false. Okay, now what you can do, if you execute again, it will not, that message will not come again, and we'll get a message called that we can able to ping the server. So it is success, right? You can see it is success. Now let's use some other command to install Git software in our web server. So what we can do, simply write Ansible, same things we are going to use AWS underscore EC2, use -i, provide the path where your dynamic inventory file available. Now just use the module. Suppose your web server is the Ubuntu operating system. Okay, so we have to use the package manager for the Ubuntu OS. So the package manager is -m art, and you have to provide -a and just give name equal to git state equal to present. Then what you need, we need to provide the certificate file, private key, right, equal to provide the path home ubuntu slash this one dot pen. Hit enter. Okay, so what it says, it is failed. There could be some issues while using this one. What we can see here, okay, good. So what it says is permission denied. That means with Ubuntu user we are not able to install this Git software. So what we can do here, let me clear out the screen. We can simply use the become user here. Become, that means we have to install as root. Become root. Hit enter. Good. So what it says, it is success and it is able to install the software. It is able to install the software here. So this is how you can use the Ansible Dynamic Inventory with AWS EC2. Hope you guys understood clearly how we can use the AWS Ansible Inventory, Dynamic Inventory. If you have any doubt or any concerns, please do write me in the comment section below. If you have not yet subscribed my channel, please do subscribe now so that you will get notified when I add more videos on my channel. Thank you.